All right, we are live. Hi, everybody. Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Uh, Lower the volume, please, so it's not making any feedback. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies, and of course, gentlemen. Of course, who are here in another version of our Bixi live events, which are called from now on. We're calling them Bixi meetups. Okay, so that's a new term for today. Don't worry, I won't bombard you with more terms. I'll leave it with our esteemed speaker for tonight. But ayan, sobrang aga pa natin. Ayan, everyone is like saying hi on IG. Hello, hello. Okay, so Paul is here, Gigi. Ayan. So please share the if you're online, if you're watching right now, we're live on Facebook. We're also live on LinkedIn. We're also live on my own Facebook page. So it's still very early in the evening. Ayan, share nyo naman ang live natin today. It's very exciting. Ako excited ako kasi I also want to learn a lot about crypto. I don't worry, yun sa mga beginners, ayan, ako din, I'm still beginning in this crypto journey. So don't be intimidated, huwag kayong matakot. We are here to learn together. So, um, sige, i-ano nyo, pa-share naman please ng live. Ayan. So, hi again. I'll just lower my volume. Okay. Okay. So, what do we have for today? Ayan. First and foremost, tignan natin. Ayan. I'm wearing my Bixi shirt. I'm wearing my Bixi shirt. So if you want to get this, I'm not sure if you're seeing it. Wait lang. I'll
You
move
can
it.
move your camera down.
Wait lang. Ah, Hindi yan nakita. There, the Bixi shirt. Okay, hello. Sa IG mahirap eh. Mahirap naman, hindi techie itong hindi ako masyadong techie. So um okay, so good afternoon again for those who just joined. Ang dami pang nag-join. Ayan, perfect. It's just 6:29 p.m. So, sige lang, just share before I formally start. Let's start siguro mga 6:31. Ayan, a little a little over 6 p.m. para mas marami pang mag-come in because now we're doing work na via tawag dito hybrid. So people are going to work now. They commute to work. I mean, they go to work. So may yung iba pauwi pa lang. As of now, maybe they're still going home. So this is actually a perfect time, especially when you're not driving. You can actually sit in traffic and learn. So making productive use of all our time. And dun naman sa mga nasa bahay. Today I work from home. So I didn't have any external or outside meeting today. I work from home. So sa mga katulad ko who are working at home, yan, this afternoon. Hello, I hope you are tuning in into our live event. So, ayan, as promised, it's 6:31 p.m. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first, no, not the first, the first time we're calling this live as meetups. Ayan, I'm seeing more people coming in, both on IG and here on StreamYard. No, so this is the another version of our Bixi Live event. We're calling it Meetups for the first time today. So today is very exciting because number one, ayan, bago ako mag-plug ng kung ano-ano pa dito. This is not a live selling event actually. So number one, all right. Kung makikita nyo, sorry for sa mga nasa IG. Our white paper is out. Yay! Ano naman, virtual club. So our white paper is out. You will learn more about, what Bixi is, why we're doing this, where we're heading at. So, nandyan siya at mybixi.com. Punta lang kayo doon. Makikita nyo doon, naka-highlight siya. Just click on our white paper. So, anything and everything you need to know and want to know about Bixi, anything and everything, it's in the website and it's in the white paper. So double actually to. Actually triple siya, which comes to my next plug for the day. So, when you open our Bixi website, ang una nyo makikita sa left, no, are two QR codes. Ayan. What are these two QR codes for? When you scan them, it's actually the way to download the Bixi app. So, bakit important na ma-download natin yung Bixi app? Because tonight, our guest will be talking about not just crypto, hindi lang yung technicalities of it, but more importantly about joining a community where we can like learn together and like share personal experiences together. So Bixi is actually a good place to build to join where to join a community. So download the app, nandyan yung QR code at mybixie.com. So those who just came in, ayan, ang daming fans naman nung natin, guest natin. A lot of people are I'm alone here. I cannot chat and talk at the same time. Everyone is saying good evening, Sando Vibes, YGG. What's YGG? Oh my God, this is me not being not. Hi, Kevin, Ryan, Allen, Leo. I'll mention everyone later. He will shout out. Shout out is the term, di ba, na ginagamit. So, ano pa ba? So, first, our white paper is out. Dun sa mga kakarating lang, I'm seeing the numbers. They're going up. Number 2, when you click my Bixi, the white paper is there. The QR code for the downloads are there. So when you download the app, you will see the knowledge section, the tools section, and of course the community section, which is very, very important. So when you are inside the Bixi app right now and you're watching itong live namin, comment anything dun sa events, just say hi. Pwede kayong mag-hi doon kay Kookoo, ayan, Sando Vibes. I look mamaya kung ano ibig sabihin ng YGG. Ang dami kong sinasabi. I'm just being chatty right now. So my next plug would be, again, after you download the app, of course, you will register. And then when you register, we have a very exclusive offer. So the very exclusive offer that I'm talking about, I hope I can show it right now. Rosalia was disconnected on IG. Wait 1 minute. Okay. So what I'm talking about na very exclusive, talagang very exclusive na very pa. So I don't even know if that makes sense. But when you can you please lower the Rosalia the volume on IG? Okay, there you go. I think you're seeing it right now on IG and also here on it's not making any sense, but on StreamYard. But you will see a personal accident insurance with Teleconsult. So this promo is only available inside the Bixi app. Kaya sinasabi kong exclusive siya. Nandito siya. Yan. Click nyo lang yung banner, sign up, and then you will get an exclusive coverage from one of our partners. Ayan, Assured and Mercantile Insurance. So, wala pong commitment to. Nobody will take your account number. Nobody will take your your GCash or ano pa bang mga payment apps. Nothing. It's no commitment. It's absolutely free of charge. But the best thing about this, it's exclusive here. You cannot get this anywhere. It's only inside the Bixi app, and the coverage is really good. There's personal accident insurance, and the best thing is the unlimited teleconsult na pwede niyong makuha. So anytime, anywhere, you can access that. So ano pa ba? So, hi! A lot of people just came in. Again, I'm Vil from Bixi. I'm just the host for tonight. So, we have a very special guest tonight. Pero, last but not the least, so anything that we will be discussing right now is purely for dissemination of knowledge. No, patuloy tayo mag-aral together. So, since I am not a financial advisor, we're not registered financial advisors. Anything that is part of this conversation are not legal or financial advice. Although I'm a lawyer, I can give legal advice, pero this is not the channel. Kung may issues kayo, baka pwede nyo nila ako i-PM. I can answer naman privately. So yeah, so that's it. And again, I would like to introduce Bixi, for those who just attended for the first time. Kasi I'm sure madami kaming mga new attendees today. But first of all, thank you so much, ayan, for those who just for the first time, ayan, attended our Bixi meetup or live event or meetups na ngayon. So, andyan nakikita nyo po, mybixi.com, that's our website. Yan, it's updated. It's very nice. It's I'm very biased, but it's really nice. The website is really nice. Everything you need there is it's not complicated at all. Everything you need in there is right there. Ay makikita nyo agad-agad. So, okay, so aside from mybixi.com, what is Bixi? So, very interested siguro yung iba dito kasi I always get that. Ano ba yung Bixi? Ano ba yan? Payment app ba yan? No, it's a financial literacy app for women. But of course, hindi naman prohibited yung mga men, no, to look at it and all. But it's a financial literacy app for women. So, ano yung tatlong bagay na makikita nyo inside the Bixi app? So, knowledge, number one, makikita nyo doon yung mga YouTube videos, articles, learning materials na pwede nyo magamit on anything like investment, savings, insurance. Knowledge, yun yung number one. Number two, tools. Number two, we have the tools. Ano yung mga tools na nandun? So, number one, kanina pinakita ko yung una, di ba? It's an exclusive offer. So, it's also one tool because an insurance, actually, I consider it as an investment kasi it's an investment on my health. I can use it, I can use it anytime when I have a health issue or, health problem. And last but not the least, this is very important. So, network or the community na sinasabi ko po kanina. So, makikita nyo po lahat yon sa Bixi. So, yun po ang kabuuan ng Bixi. And if you want to know more, ito nga po, naka-flash sa screen natin, our white paper is out. So, for the benefit of those who are in IG, ayan, bibigyan ko kayo ng photo. Baka mamaya selfie ko pa yung mapakita ko. But yes, our white paper is out. Ayan. You have a different version. Ito yung version na the future is female. So it's really nice. So thank you to our graphic designer, who's been, doing a good job with all these things. So again, if you want to know more about Bixi, those who just came in, mybixi.com, our website, the white paper is there. So, ano pa nga ba ang inaantay natin? Ayan. So, I will not make this any longer. So, tonight, we have a very special guest. Bakit siya special? Hindi naman siya bread or something special, but he's actually my good friend, no? I just didn't meet him online yesterday. So, this guy na guest natin tonight, we have been neighbors. We have been neighbors since, I don't know, siguro 8, 9, 10 years ago. I don't even remember anymore. I'm just dating myself. I'm just revealing our true age na. But yeah, he's a good friend and he actually has a very good story to tell. So, ayan, tawa lang siya ng tawa kasi totoo yon. So, sabi ko, I was asking, anong gusto mong intro? Sabi ko sa kanya, gusto mo ba sabihin ko yung dati mong nickname? Sabi niya, wag daw. So, very short lang yung sabi niya. Sabi niya, just introduce me as an NFT gaming, content creator. Ayan. Ano pa ba? May malagdag pa ba ako? NFT gaming content creator. And, of course, should I call you as the CEO, the head, the director, I don't know, of Kookoo Crypto TV? Let's all welcome Kookoo himself.
Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Ayan.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Kasi we're broadcasted live internationally. So, GM, what we call in Web3 is GM. GM.
Okay, I think I'm gonna Google that thing. Anyway, but before you proceed, Lex, with more nosebleed, like acronyms, I only know the UN, or I don't know. I would also like to introduce the CEO of Bixi here. If you're wondering kung bakit pareho kami ng last name, we're not related. Of course, we're related. She's actually my sister. So she will be doing the fireside with our guest Kookoo. So Bixi CEO Rosalia Gitao.
GM.
GM.
I like you, right? So this is all just the beginning of a test. For those of you who attended last week, you should know a couple of those terms. And if you don't, Google them because this is the language of the future. So you might as well jump on board. I'm really, really happy to see everybody here again tonight. We have a handful of our old timers. My gosh, some of you have been here since the very beginning when, it was just a couple of people who would show up on a live. And I'm just so excited to see how much you all have learned since the beginning. Obviously, today is just a different level of game, right? We have Kookoo crypto community with us. They just kind of take us from a cozy community of women learning to the bigger leagues, to the big leagues, let's face it. So learn the vocabulary because we're now officially in the big leagues of Web3 and we have to...
Wait.
Our...
I'm
going to get on my team. There we go. Because I don't want to create an echo.
Yeah, just lower the volume. Okay.
So I think, if you turn off your volume, maybe I won't have an echo. Not your mute on Yardstream, your mute on iTunes.
Just lower your volume down because you're having an echo.
Yeah, it's all the way down.
Okay, perfect.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'll start from the top. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us again in your, on your commute home, in your time after work. You're really just doing the best thing for yourself possible, which is gaining knowledge, gaining network, right? Like this is the first important tools and steps to get to an investment. As I mentioned, we kind of all started off as a smaller community, partnering with Kookoo Crypto TV. This brings our community to a much, much bigger volume, much bigger scale, just the bigger leagues when it comes to the world of Web3.
You have an echo. They're saying you have an echo. Yeah. You have earphones? Maybe you can put earphones on your phone, something.
Do I have earphones? I do have earphones. Mm-hmm. Let me see what I can do about that.
Yeah, that's the comment. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but yeah.
I'm so sorry. Give me a minute. Hold up.
Okay. Again, hello everyone. For those who just came in, ayan, I will say hi muna to those who are saying hi. GM. What does that mean? What does that mean? Good morning. I think that's the hello world for the people in the Web3 universe.
Good morning.
Ayan, perfect. Okay. I'm learning new terms here. We are YGG. Hello, Naj, Gil, Tomioka, RJ.
Is that better? Testing. Is that better?
I think so.
How about now?
Wait, I'm just gonna get.
Is that better? Testing.
You still have an echo. What is happening? I said it's better.
How about now?
Still echoing.
How very strange. This same format as everything. Sorry.
It's okay. Maybe you could shift the position of the phone somewhere on the other side, not near the camera.
Okay, is that better? Testing.
Okay, I'm asking from the comments. I'm basing on the comments. Echo. There's an echo, really. Oh, what is happening?
Very strange. Okay. So.
Okay.
Is that better? So, Bill, I'm so sorry, everybody. It's not like we don't do this every week. So what I suggest maybe, I think Kookoo just dropped off. If you could video, and then I'll, from you so people can hear the volume, and I'll just turn this on mute because I think that's the issue. Okay. So you see what I mean? Like if you video the yard stream, then people on IG can hear my volume. Does that work for everybody? Okay, WAGMI. That was from last week. You know what? We're actually just going to open it up. Last week we had a pub quiz or, a fun quiz with all of our community members. We had a couple of winners on Monday, but I'm throwing out acronyms today. And if anybody can go into the Bixi app and actually write down what these things mean, we'll be giving away merch. So there it is. We're doing a pub quiz in action. So you learned all these things last week. If you actually know what they mean, go into the Bixi app, go into live events, put your answer. First correct answers win a prize. So technical difficulties, but wag me. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm really sorry, IG crowd, because I don't want to not get to the good part of tonight, which is I want to know everything about Kookoo. I want to know why Kookoo. I want to know how he came to be called Kookoo. I want to hear the story. I know some parts of the story. It's really an impressive story. It's an inspirational story, but it's not a story to focus on. Oh, he, started from this and ended up here. The really interesting part of this story is that he did this just by learning. And it's really illustrative of the fact that Web3 and everything happening in this space is so new that it is absolutely not too late to learn. And this is something that's really important. When we talk about just the investment space in general, when we have had talks with financial advisors, licensed financial advisors, financial experts, everyone always asks us, when should I start investing? And the answer is always across the board, now, today. Today's the day. And so just by investing in your education and your knowledge tonight, you're taking this one critical step. It just so happens that in Web3, you can learn really quickly, right? Like you can and Kookoo's going to tell us all about it. You can go from like 0 to expert in a span of not very long. So you don't need a PhD, you don't need your master's, you don't need to do anything crazy. You just need to have very much a thirst for all knowledge. And you need to DYOR. See what I did there? So go into the drop the information and drop the answer to what that is, and you'll win a prize. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking because you'll hear from me. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Kookoo. I'm so excited. Kookoo, you want to say anything, any words for the Bixie community before I get into the grilling of this interview?
Hey, hello, Bixies. Is that what you call them? Bixies.
Yep, Bixies, Bixie ladies.
Bixie ladies. GM. So basically, that's the standard greetings for Web3 leaders or people that are in the space of Web3. And of course, shout out to all the crew from YGG and Sandogan. We call them Sandogan because I'm wearing Sando. And YGG is our mother guild, which is the largest metaverse guild for gaming and other earn protocols in the Web3 space. So hello everyone. I'm ready for all of your questions. Give me some challenging questions tonight.
Well, I'll throw you the
I miss doing this. I just had a live session last night. So after a few months of being inactive and because of being busy traveling and setting up some programs for our community, I miss doing live sessions or live AMAs.
Yeah. Well, this is okay. So just to note what makes Bixie's meetups and AMAs different is that we always ask our experts that we bring on to not only share their stories and their journeys, but to give us an actual tool that we can walk away with. So I'm just prepping you that we're going to be expecting some applicable knowledge at the end of this. So, but I'll start with the easy stuff first. Tell me your journey. Tell me how you came to be, a learn to earn expert, how you came into the crypto world, because, from what we talked about before, you basically didn't know anything about it, 2 years ago? So how did you go from that to where you are now?
Well, I started in the space of blockchain cryptocurrency last 2017. I downloaded a mobile wallet called CoinsPH. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but it's an app where you can buy cryptocurrencies, exchange it to fiat, and pay bills or load, your mobile phone with, just by using that app. So that's 2017 when the ICO, or what do you call this? The initial coin offering was very popular, where projects, raise funds to develop their projects. So that's how I got started. I got interested in Ethereum instead of Bitcoin. I heard Bitcoin first, but I am not sure if there's any utility with that token. So when Ethereum came in 2017 in CoinsPH application, they started opening up beta testers for their Ethereum wallet. So I immediately applied, and surprisingly, the one who gave me access to that is now one of our. I'm working with him right now. It's one of our. Actually, he's a COO, or Chief of Operations for our mother guild. So he was actually surprised that he got to know me personally, and my first wallet is because of him. So I started 2017. I save up enough Ethereum during that time. Every time I have extra money, like 500 pesos, 100 pesos, I started converting those money into Ethereum. And then 2018, 2019, I participated in some ICOs, which most of them are rug pulled, or they are, you know they are they failed. They're not doing the project anymore. They left the project, so most of my money are lost. But thankfully, I got connected to some individuals in Manila that do a lot of meetups for crypto community in the Philippines. So I studied some white papers. I learned some terminologies as well, and also participated in some activities like meetups, events. And yeah, that was 2017. And then I was very curious, if what are the other use cases of Ethereum. So I learned that there are, like, decentralized finance or money protocols where you can participate in products where you can grow your money using blockchain protocols, compared to like the traditional finance where you can only qualified if you have a good amount of money that you will put in the bank. So unfortunately, I don't have that. So I started experimenting and exploring the space, and then come 2020, August 2020, that was like 3 or 4 months after the first announcement of the lockdown in the Philippines. I read an article wrote by Leia from CoinDesk. uh, it says Filipinos earning cents during the pandemic. So I wasn't curious about making a lot of money because, based on the headlines about centavos or cents, I'm interested in joining a community where I can focus myself, learning from these people on how they make money, how they play the game, and how the intersection of gaming and blockchain come together, and how can we, use it to onboard more people into the space. So I bought my two axes, August 29, and then I bought my 2,000 worth of tokens, or what we call the small love potion or smooth love potion, to breed those axes. These are digital pets, um, where you can breed them, you can battle them, and you can collect rewards if you win. And 3 days after, I learned that the protocol, the decentralized finance protocol that I interacted with, gave us an airdrop. Airdrop is like free money because you use a platform or you use a protocol. They will send you tokens to test the project or to test the platform or the app. Sometimes it doesn't have any value. Sometimes it has value depending on the people that are using the tokens or the utility of the token or the use case of the token. So during that time, because I interacted with that protocol, I was surprised that I made like $4,000 of free money during that time. So I got more interested and converted my airdrop from Uniswap into Ethereum and bought more axes to breed. So I bought a lot of zero breed count axes and studied the game. I compiled all the documents and translated into Filipino and gave it to the founders and helped them moderate and manage the community for for the Philippines. So that's how I got involved with as a angel and moderator of the largest Discord community in the world, which hosts around 800,000 members right now. The largest one is I think is Fortnite. Before it was like around 400,000. Right now it is Axie, so with 800 plus thousand members. And yeah, I was one of the moderators and angels. I helped build the Philippine market. I created a lot of videos on how to's, how to start playing the game. I didn't create any videos for like this is how to get rich in the space. No, I created videos on how to get someone started right in playing the game, in downloading a wallet or registering an app, making their wallet Web3 wallet accounts. So that's how it all started. That was August 2020. So almost 2 years. 2 years now. So yeah.
Right. So that I think I think what's interesting, when you told me parts of that story before, is to really go from just playing with an idea. So we have a lot in the Bixie community, particularly when because we cater to women who are crypto curious or curious in Web3, and they often, a lot of people are shy. They say, I don't, how much should I start with? And we don't, we can't advise you on how much should you start with, but the general rule of thumb is don't start with more than you can afford to lose.
Right.
But more importantly, think of what you're spending not as, oh, I'm going to get more money, but think of it as an education, right? Like, the first, like you said, the first 1,000 pesos that you put in, you're like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing. Let me play with things, experiment. And it's learning by doing, which is a really big part of everything in the crypto space, cryptos, NFTs. You just kind of have to try it. And so don't obviously don't spend more than you can afford to lose, insofar as don't spend more than if you lost it based on education, you would still feel like, okay, well, I learned something today. So if I lost 10 pesos because I learned how to mint an NFT today, that's not the worst thing in the world. Right? But if I lose an amount that will make me cry in the middle of the night, then maybe that wasn't worth losing. So I think that's a really important thing. You were able to just say, okay, I'm going to do something. I think the other really important learning that I take from your experience is, and this is a really fundamental thing in the blockchain crypto world, you have to give to get. And it's not just the blockchain world. This is the reality of the world in general. Everyone's always like, what do I get? What do I get? You have to give to get. I know so many people who I was always in the beginning, when I started in crypto, which was like 2017, so many people who are in their free time are giving their time to be moderators of groups, right? And who are literally like given, Ethereum in 2016, 2015, as part of just being, a nice person who's willing to contribute. And I mean, they're all having a great life right now, let's just say, because there's a lot of emphasis on this notion of community. It's really about giving than receiving so much. Now and of course, by giving more, what's really interesting about the feedback loop of blockchain itself is by putting more into the system, you get more out of the system. Like that is how the blockchain in and of itself works. So I think that's another really important learning. And this is also part of what we're trying to imbue in our community. And to say a shameless request to anybody watching, we also are looking for moderators for our community. We're looking for we have a Bixie ambassador program. We're looking for the right kind of women to take our community to Web3. So we, encourage everybody who's interested. Obviously, download the Bixie app and make this known in the live events. But it's just a really important part. Like you don't always know how it's going to work out, but it's a really important thing to give in this community. And the rewards can be nice at the end, but that's
Yeah.
not the principal driver, right? I guess my other question is a bit off script, but I'm really curious to know more about learn to earn, because this is something that we have now in our latest release in our platform, and we're going to be having more and more games because we want people to learn. That's the objective, right?
Right.
So tell me like more about learn to earn. You know what works, what doesn't. Like how does that work? As a player and as a creator.
Well, basically, what I did was when I was starting, like what you said, it's all about contributing to the community instead of getting something out of them. It is really important to really know your place and really know what to contribute to the community instead of extracting value from the community, because people will easily identify you if you're an extractor or a contributor.
Yes,
If
yes,
like
yes.
if you like asking, if you like getting something in return, people will sense that. And a lot of people are surprised when I started creating my videos. I said, I'm not asking for follows or subscribers or likes or whatever. I just want to answer all those questions from my page. That is, very relevant and very important on how they want to get started in the game, in the space, because there's a lot of people are getting scammed for being ignorant. I mean, sorry for the term, but ignorance is expensive, especially in the space. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're interacting, if you don't know what you're buying, that ignorance is will cost you a lot of money. Not just money, but of course, it will cost you, your peace of mind. And
That's
yeah,
a t-shirt from this talk. Ignorance is expensive. Write it
yeah,
down.
yeah. So I'm very much interested in communities where I can feel that there's something that I can learn from them, not just extract from them. I joined the our community, actually Infinity community, and the Web3 space, because I want to know more about the use cases of the technology. I want to know more about the intersection of gaming and blockchain and how can it be applied to onboarding a lot of people into the space. Because right now, there are millions of Filipinos that got onboarded in the Web3 space without them knowing that they're in the Web3 space. And a lot of people that are watching right now, they're still asking what is Web3, what is Web1, Web2. They all know is like, if I do this, I will earn rewards, and these rewards can be converted into fiat, and this fiat can be very helpful to my family, where I can feed my family with the money that I will earn from this. So I think one of the best advice that I can give to people that are really looking to learn and wants to get on board in the space is find something that um, you think that will be very very useful in the future, or like what are the use cases if you get if you if on board in the space, what are the use cases or applications that you think can be very very useful in the future, and that will help a lot of people,
Mhm.
like for example alleviate poverty, or like use cases like in sending money abroad or sending money to the province. In short, how can this technology or these applications can help you know people, like live a life where these barriers will be removed and people can easily participate in these products or in these platforms. So like me, I started with nothing. I didn't have enough money when I started in the space. I only have curiosity, and I think the appetite for learning more, and that's maybe, the the things that I have right now are I consider as the rewards. I'm not lucky, guys. I'm not lucky. People are, telling me you're so lucky because you're very early. You discovered Axie Infinity, or you bought Ethereum at a very low price. Actually, no, I'm not lucky because I don't believe in luck. I'm just very curious, and I just see something that can be very useful in the future, and then I research about it, and then I use it, I applied it, I failed, I made mistakes, but I believe in it. So that's the most important thing. If you believe what you saw, what you saw in the future, if you believe in the vision, then most probably the right projects will come to you, not just mere luck, but because you are already prepared. The circumstances, your experiences prepared you for that platform, for that community to to really grow and bear fruit and help other people as well. So you will never know, like, whatever you're experiencing right now. They said we're in a bear market right now. This is the time where the true builders are very, very active in building products, building platforms, building communities, and then when the bull market happens, these will be the people that will be celebrated. So I think learn to earn, or X to earn, we call them now, protocols that are X to earn, because there's a lot of things that we can do and then earn, but don't always think about the monetary value. But what's the value that is, being accumulated to your life and to other people? So I think that's the most important thing. So learn to earn is very important, because if you forget to learn the basic stuff in the space, like what I said, ignorance is expensive, then it will be painful. I think um, it is very crucial to be in a community, in a space where people can encourage you, people will share important or like relevant information to you when making a decision. So I think that's, for me, is very important in the space.
You've said like so many things. I'm just going to kind of recap that. I think I was nodding my head so much in agreement that it's like going to fall off. I think one thing that you said is, I don't have money, I have curiosity. These are not just things that apply for Web3. You're spitting some like life truths. If you follow your curiosity and you match that with determination, right? As opposed to quick wins, inevitably you're going to come across a successful solution. Like inevitably, because you're digging, you're curious, you're networking, you're gaining knowledge, you're trying to crack a problem. And I think that that is such an important, I think that you're so spot on. Have curiosity. Don't worry like, oh, I don't have a ton of money to start. Start with curiosity, right? But don't give up. Have that single-minded determination to follow that curiosity through. When you make a mistake, you're still curious. Keep trying to find that answer. And I couldn't agree with you more. That in of itself will yield results. And people notice. I couldn't agree with you more. We always know, come on, we don't need to go on the web to know this. You always know these people around you who are always trying to like get and take, and they're very, as opposed to the people around you who are really generous and are constantly giving. And we always wonder, why is the generous people always getting more stuff? It's because people like being around them and they're like, oh, they're so generous, so I'm going to give them more things. The same applies in our virtual life, right? So be a person that contributes. And right when you said, what I knew, like, look around, what you had to contribute was, okay, there's these Axie, but they don't have anything in Tagalog, or maybe they don't have anything in Ilocano, and I'm going to contribute that because that's what I have. And people take notice and they're like, hey, thanks for that, initiative that you took. I think it's so powerful, and it really shows that, when we say we want to give you something practical to walk away with, that's a really practical thing to walk away with. You might not have a lot of money sitting in an account, but you have something, you have a skill set, you have a language, you can contribute something. And I think that that's like so spot on. Another thing that, you really rightly mentioned is like, don't look at like monetary value, look at actual real value. One of our most popular Bixi meetups was hosted by a licensed financial advisor. Her name is Jokes. She will be rejoining us in a couple of weeks. You can go on the Bixi app and see the schedule of when she's coming back. She was super popular. And one of the best pieces of advice, she just traditional finance, so trad fi, whatever. The best piece of advice she gave us was when people are like, "Well, what do I invest in? How do I even look around?" She said, "Okay, look around your desk right now and pick 5 things in front of you." And I was like, "Okay, Hydro Flask, like iPhone, right? Like this lotion, this brand." And she's like, "Okay, now I'm going to give you a website. You're going to Google. You're going to go and find out the name of that company on the Filipino Stock Exchange." And everybody did that. And then they were like, "Oh," she's like, "Yes, because the things you appreciate, right? You're spending your money on these products. You're spending your time on these values that you have. Put more time into that. That which you appreciate appreciates." And I think that that's like so vital. And you've obviously borne a lot of success from your own journey by literally leveraging what you have, whatever it is that you have, and then appreciating the things you appreciate. I think that those are really critical things and tools and learnings that everybody in the Bixi community needs to take away, because that's not just important in Web3, it's important in life. So speaking of Web3,
Mhm.
where do you see us in 5 years? Like, what do you like? What's the world? What's finance? What's everything in 5 years? What's
Well,
Web3?
in 5 years, for sure there will be a lot of applications and um, or tools that will be available for the public. And if people are asking, or is it too late to get on board and learn about Web3 or participate? No, you're too early. If you're watching this, you're too early. We're too early. And there are how many millions of Filipinos in the world just know about Web3, but we are already in billions. So very small percentage. So imagine you're in like in a Web 1.0 or the internet era, where people do not believe that internet is legitimate, internet is good, because a lot of government like agencies thought that internet is bad for like terrorism or money laundering, something like that. Like sounds familiar, right? I mean, they thought that they are thinking that cryptocurrencies or Web3 and blockchain is something like that. But again, guys, just to clarify, cryptocurrency is a part of the Web3. It doesn't mean Web3 is cryptocurrency. Web3 is decentralized internet using blockchains as the technology, and cryptocurrencies are just part of these blockchains where you can reward people for their activity. So that's the difference. Web3, from now, there are a lot of builders. Very happy to see a lot of builders, especially like, for example, right now we have Bixi, feeling the need for women empowerment when it comes to financial literacy, education, and products. And there are a lot more. So you just have to pick I think the niche for you. If you are into gaming like me, then learn gaming in Web3. If you're into like developing new products or into marketing, into like writing stuff, there are a lot of applications that can be used with Web3, that you can prove that you are the author, or you can actually monetize whatever you produce, because Web3 is all about creator economy, where the people that participate, that creates, they are being rewarded. Now, unlike with the Web 1, where this is the read-only like website, you cannot interact, with the website. Web 2 is like Facebook, Google, where you can react, comment, create video, but you still don't own your content. With Web 3, this is decentralized internet, where we are not reliant with these big companies to host our information or any products. It's reliant on the people. No one can, for example, or how about if FB or Facebook is shut down.
Mhm.
Web3 you cannot shut it down because it is controlled by the people. So 5 years from now, millions will be onboarded, new products will be produced, and that will be the start of the actual adoption of the technology. So like what I said, if you're watching this right now, you're not lucky. If luck means laboring under correct knowledge, then maybe you are lucky you're watching right now.
What? Okay, I'm
So
gonna.
um, if you're building right now with enough information, with good information, like what I said, under correct knowledge, 5 years from now, your life will be changed depending on how you use those knowledge. So I only learned a few important information when I started discovering like blockchain technology, trustless, decentralized. You can proof of ownership, and I immediately like sold out. So I learned more about that. I tried products, promising. Most of them failed. Right now, we can see other use cases, and like gaming, it's an easy way for people to get onboarded. But there will be a lot more platforms that will help onboard people into the space. So yeah, I mean, we're very lucky right now. We have the right builders in our circle that will that shares the same vision on providing the helping reach out the benefits of this technology to a lot of people.
So that was a bit of a mic drop moment, Kookoo. I was like, what? I've never heard that. Luck. Laboring under correct knowledge. That's another one. I'm getting a cup. You've given us a lot. I'm getting that on a cup. That is so spot on. And also, I will do another plug because, as you rightly mentioned, builders. During Bear, we build. We're builders right now. And as Kuku was saying, this is early days. This is early days. So you're already in at like the ground floor, right? I think it's really interesting. Like he said, in 5 years, if you basically focus on building your skill set, you're an expert. This is literally what happened when I started in crypto. A bunch of people who literally were like interns are now, the experts at all of these large cryptocurrency companies, right? Because it just takes laboring under correct knowledge, and really putting in that time and that effort. And I think that's so. I mean, just so meaningful. Let's get that on a cup. That needs to be on a T-shirt. Um, so I think that, yeah, thank you so much. I think that's really, really helpful for our users. So now the meat of it. All right. So I am a Bixi lady user or average user. She's 33 years old. She's professional and or has a small business, like an internet business. She lives in Manila. She lives in Dabao. She's like, I want to start today. What do I do? Walk me through 5 steps, 5 really easy steps.
Well, number one is to join communities. So join Bixi community if you want to learn more about the app, the project. So join the specific community where you want to learn more about a certain project or platform. Because what's good with the Web3 communities is that people are willing to help out. People are
Yeah.
willing to share information about the product, the platform, the project without expecting anything in return. And that's what I like about Web3 communities, because when I started learning about these communities, I was surprised that there are a lot of people that are willing to give something. Like someone gave me an Ethereum to just recover my assets that I thought I'm getting hacked. So someone is willing to give out, but I'm not sure if that's there's still people. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are willing to help out, give you information, help you get started. So join communities. That's the first thing you need to know. or you need to do.
Where do you
And
do
then,
that? Place. Where
uh,
do you do?
yeah, good question. Number one, you need to have a Twitter, Twitter account. Number two, download a Discord app. Discord is this is where we build mini nations. It's a very good communication tool for building communities, and you know spreading information and creating new relationship to build to help build the community or the project. And most of the active like projects right now are using Discord to onboard their new users. um, I like Facebook. Filipinos are number one in Facebook, but we you know we can use Facebook groups, but this learning how to use Discord is very important in, I think, in Web3. So I didn't know how to use it before, but when I learned, you know, the you know, the tool, I'm in love with it. So every time there's new conversation, we can do a lot with Discord. You can play games in Discord. You can watch. You can watch live streams, watch games. You can do like live sessions or AMAs like this one on Discord. You can do a lot of things on the. It's like a mini television or telecommunication channel in Discord. So yeah, very very important on learning how to use Discord. And then set up your wallet. There's a lot of wallet right now. It doesn't matter if you have um, non-custodial or custodial wallet. What I mean by that is custodial wallets are wallets or apps that have your money in their custody. Non-custodial wallet, this is the very challenging part when onboarding people into the space because it's really hard for people to really be responsible with their money. I mean, when you install a non-custodial wallet, the control is yours. Okay, no central authority will tell you need to deposit because you will lose money when you don't deposit the right amount. You don't have like minimum deposit or something like that. You control your money when you download a non-custodial wallet, when you install a non-custodial wallet. And there are things that are like this one are advanced. So I have a lot of hardware wallets with me right now
Be
because I'm
careful with
very
that.
yeah, because I'm very much particular when it comes to having custody of my money or my assets, not just money, NFTs, in-game assets, tokens. So download non-custodial or custodial wallet. We have a lot of that in our cell phones right now, and learn how to use those, how to cash out, how to cash in, and then use their products with with their tokens or with their rewards. So I think that's the best place to start. Join communities and download your wallet and use these applications for free. There are a lot of free applications that you can use in learning to participate in Web3. And most of these non-custodial wallets are actually free. So yeah.
Perfect. So we've that's this really echoes what a lot of the kind of experts that we brought on, and I think what's really interesting, some of the experts that we brought on, everybody has a different angle. So you're very much the community builder. We've had those who've been like the traders. We've had those who've been like the NFT
Mhm.
creators. And so it's really interesting to hear. And I hope, and by the way, all these videos are available on the Bixie app. That's not a shameless plug. You should actually look at all of them because they're all talking about Web3. Very, very different perspectives, very, very different people, but all of their approach is the same. Do you remember this, Phil? This was this exact same feedback from the NFT creator lady and the hyper exchange guy, and it was join a community, and and they had their own reasons, but join a community, understand what's going on. It helps you not get scammed to like join a community. And then the second one was, of course, set up a wallet and set it up such that you're going to be playing around and you're probably going to lose stuff and you're going to make a couple of mistakes and you're going to be like, I don't understand what just happened. So don't put like a bunch of money on it. Put like,
Right.
a small amount of money, the kind of money you're willing to lose, the kind of money that you can
Test
spend
money.
on a book, right? So you get a book for knowledge, take exactly that amount of money and just put it there so you can play with it. I think that's perfect advice. So I really encourage, a few things that I think that my takeaway from today. Well, I have a few. One is luck, laboring under correct knowledge. I'm literally putting that on a Bixie t-shirt. Number two, you don't need money, but you do need curiosity. That's so critical. And with that curiosity, you just need two steps. I mean, literally, just join a community, and all of them are free. Discord, Twitter, Facebook, it's all free. And the next one is set up a wallet. Again, almost all of them are free. So
Right.
everything that was given, all of the things that were given today were basically cost you nothing. So the real question is, what are we all waiting for? So I'm going to end there because I think we just ran out of time and everyone's attention span, but I'm sure people have questions. So does anybody from all of the different places have any questions for Kookoo? Or has he just dropped too many knowledge bombs, like our brains just exploded? Knowledge is power. I'm going to read out some of the comments. They're fantastic. We want DYOR instead of Dior. Yes. Thanks you. You're called bogey by a lot of your followers. So there's that.
So, okay, I will send your tokens later. Okay.
Knowledge is power. Absolutely. I was actually just privately messaged somebody who's watching this, and they're like, "Tell me what it stands for again," because this is literally this is about to get stolen from you. I'm sorry, but it's going to end up on everybody's t-shirts. And any questions? Any questions? This is your time. Don't be shy. One of the issues with a lot of women in our community, you say you're shy. Don't be shy.
Yeah,
This is
go
the
ahead.
space to ask the dumb questions. There's no such thing as dumb questions, but if there are, this is the time to ask them. Okay, if anybody has any future questions, feel free to DM any one of our community managers across all of our socials and inside of the apps, and we'll connect them straight to Kookoo. I'm not allowed to pick, my favorite child, but this has been one of the best conversations that we have had. I'm so grateful for you and your time and for sharing your incredibly inspiring story. I am excited for further Kookoo Bixie collaborations. So if you have any parting words or knowledge, anything, otherwise I'm handing over to Bill.
There's one question here.
Oh, where? Okay.
Okay. What are some of the communities we can join in Web3?
For me, you can join Mirror XYZ. I'm learning a lot from Mirror. These are the what do you call this, the thinkers, the builders, the doers of the space. You can find the founders and the leaders of the space in the community. You can go to Twitter, mirror.xyz. They actually launched their, like, and when you write something, you can actually make it into an NFT, where you can the blockchain can prove that you wrote it, or proof of ownership, and then you can actually immortalize that. Like, for example, that lock, that I can immortalize that lock already using that mirror protocol. So mirror.xyz is one of the best communities when it comes to Web3 space. I'm reading a lot of stuff there. I actually been following some of the thought leaders there. So mirror.xyz, and of course we're building out the Bixi community. Make sure you're part of the Bixi Discord community. We're helping Bixi to build the community organically, because we want to continue the conversation there, because the real interaction is when people are not afraid to ask questions in public, but they are willing to share their experience, their struggles, their challenges, and the community is willing to help out, to for us to learn, for to get educated about the platform, and of course the space. So yeah, mirror.xyz, and of course Bixie.
Of course.
And I love the app. I told Bill about it. Bill, we're already almost 12 years. We're friends for almost 12 years. So, uh, I sorry, I revealed my age. So, but
You've known
I
each
love
other
the
since you
app.
were 5. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I showed it to my wife, and she said, "Oh, you have a lot of money." Because so I said, no, ano yan? Yan yung target goal. That's my target goal. That's not my money. That's my target goal. I need to make that amount of money every month because I have my target. So yeah, I love the app. I'm learning using the app and also the community there, the conversation there, and all the information there because it's like if you want to know more for a certain topic, just go to the app, search the topic in the app, and then you'll find what you're looking for. Like for other people that are watching from our community as well, if you want to learn other side hustles, you can discover a lot of opportunities there. I've been learning a lot from them. So, yeah, and I hope I can be featured there sometime. Uh, how to make
Well, we will be integrating Kookoo TV videos into the Bixi app. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
uh,
That's fantastic. Is there's another question? Last question. What drives you to build your platform? Jadu, which platform are you talking about? Jadu. Well, I'm going to put this question to you. What makes you what drives you to build platforms? What's driving you to build the Bixi platform?
Bixi. He said Bixi.
Well, I'm curious, what's driving you to build a big? So, I mean, what drove me to start the Bixie community was because women around the world don't invest. And this is a big, big problem. It's not only a big market gap, it's a big, big problem because things have changed and everybody sees it. Inflation is high. Women aren't getting married. Even the ones who are getting married, we're 80% more likely to retire in poverty. If you don't start learning about how capitalism works, I mean, it's going to be a really tough time. And I've seen people have to learn that the hard way. I woke up in my mid 30s and I was like, I don't know anything about money. And that is a dangerous place for women to be. And so I really started Bixie to get women to start looking at ourselves, not in the mirror, not for beauty products, but to start looking inside of our wallets and our bills, the numbers, and to start making a plan. So that's why I started it. What makes you interested in it, Kookoo?
Well, number one is of course, the purpose of the Big C, and of course, you guys, the founders. I found myself, like liking the app because there's an intersection of or interest in me that I want to help, because this will be very useful. So I'm asking myself, how can I contribute to this community, to this project, to this platform? Because this will, reach to a lot of women and can be very, very helpful when it comes to their finances. And that's a big problem, I think, in the Philippines because when it comes to money, we're afraid to talk about it. And if women rise up and talks about their finances, handling their finances, um, I think there's an effect for that. I mean, imagine a woman, you know, knows how to handle her money, and a guy pursues her, and that guy doesn't know how to handle his finances, and I think that guy will motivate to how to handle his finances very well because I think that should be a motivation for men like us, guys, people that are watching, to really learn from women, and of course discuss about money and talk about money and have plans and financial plans for yourself, and if you're planning to have a relationship or if you want to grow a family, right? That's very, very important. So I see a compelling reason that Bixie will be very helpful into our community, and then it will be very, very impactful, of course, to the next generation because we want to break that curse. And it's time for us to rise up and then break that curse of that financial curse that a lot of misconceptions from having a Filipino family when it comes to money. So I'm also like a product of that. I want to break the curse in our family, the debt or utang, right? And I don't want to pass it on to my children, my children's children. So I want to break that curse. And if there's something that I want to leave to my children, this is the legacy that I contributed, in helping them and breaking that chain, that problem. So yeah, I see a lot of opportunities here to really uh, bring this app platform, this community to a lot of people, especially Filipinos.
Boom. Okay. Well, you guys are going to be seeing him a lot more. So join our Discord. Kookoo and his team are actually going to be supporting it, managing it. Our Discord and our Twitter. We're moving. We have a Web 2 front end, but we're Web 3 in the back. We're like a mullet. So please, we have. You can join all of our platforms. You can get connected in the community, be part of
Right.
it. The journey starts now. Thank you so much. I'm going to head over to Bill now. Any parting? One boy, do you have anything else?
Yep. So for those who actually came in a little bit later, no, after the opening spiels that I made earlier. Yeah, our what? Oh, sorry. Before I before I proceed, thank you so much, Kuku. I think one of our friends is threatening to reveal your previous nickname, but we're not. we're, we're not doing that tonight
Yeah,
because we
I'm
want you
I'm
back.
I'm I'm going to send you some sweets, okay?
Okay, so thank you so much for gracing our event. See, we didn't actually, like he mentioned 12 years ago, we never thought about this. We just we just ate we just ate dinner, like that's it. So we just ate dinner and had coffee. But like he said, uh, he wants to be part. He wants this to be part of his legacy. So ako din, siguro ganun yung naisip ko na parang it's not just for me, but when you're thinking about the future, when you're thinking about your legacy, then it makes a lot it makes a lot more sense. Na parang you're thinking beyond yourself, you're thinking beyond what you can do for yourself, but also for your community, as he mentioned, for his children's children. So it's like a generational, it's an intergenerational like blessing, if that's what we can call it. So thank you so much, Kuku, and of course the fireside with Rosalia. So thank you so much, guys. But then again, at the close, please go to mybixie.com. Everything you need in there is inside the website. So you can see the QR codes where you can download the app. You have one QR code for Android users, and another one, of course, for iOS or Apple users. But then the newest feature of our website, aside from the new look and new design, is that our white paper is out. So if you're interested in what a white paper is, well, it looks white. but at the same time, but at the same time, everything you need to know about Bixie, who we are, what we do, where we're heading, everything is in there. So kung may gusto kayong malaman, nandun. Whatever I cannot explain tonight, everything is in there. So it's a thorough discussion of everything. But of course, when you have questions, if you have questions, download the app, go into the community. If I cannot answer it, if Rosalia cannot answer it, if Kuku cannot answer it, everyone in the community will, like band together to put in genuine and informed answer to your question. So that's how a community works, right? So everyone, nothing is like, don't worry, no one, nothing is like, oh, this is a very mediocre comment. No, just put in whatever you want to ask or whatever you want to contribute in the community. So if you have questions, go to the app community, or you can just send in a message sa IG namin, sa Facebook, every morning I wake up and say hi to those who are asking questions. So, at marunong ako mag-Tagalog for those who are in the Philippines. So, whatever you want to ask. So, pag may tinanong kayo in Tagalog, sasagot din ako in Tagalog, of course. So, ayan. So, thank you so much. Again, thank you to Kookoo. Please don't forget to download the Bixi app. Get the exclusive insurance. Ayan. So, gaya ng minention ko kanina, no cost yun. Walang magsisingil sa inyo. They will not get your GCash or any bank account. No commitment. But it's good. It's exclusive inside. Bakit siya exclusive? Kasi doon nyo lang siya makukuha. You cannot get it anywhere. But because it's consider this as a gift from one of our partners, Mercantile Insurance. So when you go to mybixi.com, QRs are there. Download the app, register, and that's the first banner you will see. Click nyo lang, tapos apply kayo, and then good na yon. Tapos, go to mybixi.com, read our white paper. So, thank you so much to everyone who has...
I just have one last plug, boy. Because we did a bonus game for some merch. GM WagMe IYKYK. Don't forget, first one's up. Inside of the Bixie app, inside of live events, you'll get a prize. Good luck.
Okay. Okay. So, see, may mga merch drop din every now and then. So, in the future, maybe when, just tune in for any drop that could happen anytime. Abang din ako doon. I'm also looking forward to it. See, I'm also competitive, so I like those things. So again, thank you so much, Kookoo, Rosalia, and every single person, every single lady, every single gentleman. I see some gentlemen commenting who actually spent the past 1 hour and 10 minutes with us. So maraming salamat sa mga nanonood dito sa Manila, Philippines. Para naman ako, this is like fan meeting. Thank you sa lahat na nanonood dito sa Manila, sa buong Pilipinas, and of course, across the world. Ayan, if you're watching from any other time zone, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, thank you so much. We will see you again in our next live event. So, stay tuned sa lahat ng social media channels namin. Thank you so much and have a great evening. Bye!